Well, it's the NFF again that we're going to be focusing on this morning. Nnamdi Obanya joins us again today. He's a sports journalist. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good to be here.
I mean, looking at that headline, FIFA's deadline expires today. And then if that happens, we may just be banned a second time.
From all footballing activities, we've been threatened with suspension, and I don't know how seriously Jeremy Valke's letter is being taken, but the NFF don't look like they're taking it seriously. If they did, a lot of things happening wouldn't be. They've been very, very clear in their letter. We don't recognize Giwa's administration. It was not properly elected. We learned that some officials were prevented from coming to the venue, including the secretary and the president, who were detained by the SSS. I mean, I might not be the biggest fan of Megari and his administration, but if no warrant has been issued for his arrest, if he hasn't been accused of any crime, if he's not under investigation for anything that anybody knows about, why was he detained by security forces? Then why were SARS involved? If they said the case was about the fire at the NFF, the letter came and said, okay, it's about the fire at the NFF building. That's arson, if I'm correct. It's not armed robbery, so why is the special anti-robbery squad involved? And if that truly was the reason, the first person who was released was the secretary whose office was burned. So there's a disconnect in everything that's happening. But if we're to not dilly-dally and be straight to the point, the buck starts and stops at the sports minister's table. Tamino Danagogo is when I say alpha and omega of all these problems. When he first came, and first of all, Ume came up that Megari had a resignation letter. He was not going to be involved in the elections. Then Megari goes and visits the sports minister, then says everything has been settled. He'll resume office on Monday. Then Ume and his people who say he should not come to the office because they are now acting, they are in charge. He has resigned. Then the sports minister, after agreeing that with the peace treaty, which was brokered by Ayim Pius, Ayim says that everything is okay, he'll work with anybody. Then turns around and all of a sudden Megari is persona non grata, and the letter is released that he has resigned with one word blotted out. Another copy of the letter was released to show that his resignation letter said the elective Congress, which means that Megari's resignation was to be in effect after the NFF elections and not before. So the whole issue seems to be that Megari should not be involved in the NFF elections. Then they went to Chida Hotel, had a Congress where they said 29 people voted. They were not 10.
That's for this Giwa.
For Giwa's election. The rest of the NFF Congress were on their way to see Megari and to complain about his arrest. They were intercepted by security forces on the way. And they stopped on Shehu Shagari Way and had what you would call your Abegi Senate. Under the tree outside, they had their Congress, quote unquote. Later in the day, everybody moved to Bentley Hotel, where 39 out of 44 were present and voted unanimously to have the elections on the 4th of September. So now the real numerical majority has said the elections are on the 39th, on the 4th of September. The Giwa faction says they've been elected. FIFA have said they do not recognize Giwa's faction. At this point, everything should be so easy. It's very straightforward. Follow the September 4 roadmap, chuck this administration out and switch back to status quo. The Megari resignation letter is to take effect after the election. But it seems as if there's some cat and mouse games going on here. It seems as if some people are favorites of the sports minister and they are being given his total unresolved backing. And the manner in which he has come in, very swashbuckling, very aggressive. He's not even hiding the fact that he has his favorites and he has some people he wants in place. You know, the whole thing even looks funny because even those like Deji Tinubu who were said to have accepted some positions in some committees and had gone to make a courtesy call to the sports minister as part of the delegation, have come out openly to say they made no courtesy call. Wow. They were not at any election. They did not accept any position.
What's going on?
Even released pictures of the Congress he was at and the Congress he was not at.
You don't say. But so, why is all this? Is it that, look, they want Megari out but don't know how to go about it?
I don't know what the problem is, and I don't want to say things that might not be correct. But the truth is, the alarm bell should have been ringing when the last sports minister was removed, Bolaji Abdullahi, because it was the first time people were not happy because he was a non-footballing sports minister. A few months to the World Cup, Danagogo comes in and it's been mayhem since then. It's been total mayhem. It's all down to the sports minister.
Meanwhile, we'll have many
have
other sports
suffering
that are
and
getting
loss.
us laurels
Yes.
more than football.
We even have other issues of being victimized because of Ebola. A sports minister's job is to fashion policies. He has not fashioned any policy since he came in. He has not even talked of any policy. All he's been doing is meddling in football. It's unfortunate.
Did you see Megari himself saying, look, I've had it, I'm tired of all of this, look, I want out, you guys, go handle yourselves?
That's what his letter was about. After these elections, I'm out. But there seems to be some fear that he might have some influence on who comes in. That's the problem. So, obviously, Ambassador Chris Giwa is the choice of the sports minister. It's the same reason why Ume was disqualified for not bringing the wrong form. They told him he was to run for vice president. Odegbami is disqualified for not having receipts. Some very flimsy things. A lot of credible candidates were disqualified, and you wondered why. Then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 people vote in. And it's the symptom that seems to be repeating itself in Nigeria, where minority has become majority. We've seen 16 greater than 19, 5 greater than 27 in Port Harcourt. It's over and over again. It seems to be a recurring decimal. And if care is not taken by midnight this night, we will lose all our rights to participate in all FIFA events. It's easy to say, let them ban us, let's get our house in order. But what of the athletes who suffer, the footballers who want to showcase their talents, who this is their own means of livelihood, they become those who suffer. The sports minister will simply turn around and face other sports and keep possibly meddling in other things.
But do you see us evading this ban by midnight today?
I think the truth is, those who are involved in all this know that they have erred, know that there's no way out of it, and I think they're looking for a face-saving means. Right now, there are probably heated negotiations going on to ensure that we escape the ban, but at the same time, some people don't lose their positions within the NFF. So I think it's all horse trading and negotiations that are going on now.
What about that comment that Orji Zokalu made at that time, that if he's NFF president, he could take us very far in the World Cup? Is anybody taking it seriously?
The truth is, I think there's nobody in NFF who would want Orji Zokalu
Why
to
not?
come in. Well, because like the sports minister has come in and is meddling and like a bull in a china shop. It's Orji Zokalu's same approach. You know, it's a case of heads will roll. He's not a very collaborative person.
But he gets results.
He gets results. But the thing is, you've had a status quo in the NFF for so long. It's been a case of musical chairs where people have only changed positions. We've not exactly changed personnel for a very, very long time. So I think they would not want that. He himself did not take the form because he feels the environment wasn't right. And we're wondering what he meant by that. But looking at the activities of the last few days, I guess he saw what we didn't see coming up, which is all this now. I think the sports minister needs to just get his hands out of this. That's all that needs to happen. We should take September 4th as the substantive date, if not by this night. And I think, not that I have too much, I think FIFA is that credible. I mean, I think they profit greatly from maladministration in developing and third world countries. This is where they can do what they can do in their own countries. But it's a win-win for them. They can ban us and make us look bad and give themselves some of the credibility they've lost from all their mistakes that they've made, and at the same time, it gives them an opportunity to foist their own people on us, since we can't get our own house in order. Wow. So once again, we're opening ourselves up to people to take advantage of our situation and profit from what we should be profiting from.
Well, thank you for coming on this morning, Nnamdi Ogbanya, sports journalist, reviewing the scenario with the NFF. So will we evade that ban? I guess time will tell. Well, we'll be back in just a moment here. Join us again.